Want to congratulate Florida State. They played a near perfect game. We had to stop the two tailbacks and stop the quarterback, and we did none of the three. They were 7 of 10 on third down conversions. They were 4 or 5 at halftime. They hit 11 of 13 passes. We couldn't get to him. When we did, he scrambled and did a great job. So he had 85% of his passes. They've been a team that's turned the ball over. We didn't force a turnover all night. So give them credit. That's what we went into the game saying we had to stop those 3 guys, and we didn't stop any of the 3. We went into the game saying we had to have fewer penalties, and we didn't. We had 12, they had 5. It's the most we've had in forever, because we've been doing a much better job in that area. And then we went into the game saying they were +7 or -7 in turnovers. We were -2. We had to force some turnovers, and we didn't do any of the 3. Offensively, we ran up and down the field, but penalties and the 1 turnover killed us, kept us from scoring. We were worried about penetration. Our offensive line did a great job tonight. We were worried about pressure on the quarterback. We had very few sacks, if any. So the time was there. We had 2 key drops that really hurt us, along with the penalties. And then our kicking game's been so good, and we kick the ball short on kickoff, and they return it to the 41. So most of the teams in college football right now are about alike. You got a few that are better than everybody else, and the rest of us have to play well each week. We've played well in 3 games that we've won. We've played poorly in 3 games that we lost. And that's what I told the guys. Stay out of the training room tomorrow. Don't come in pouting. Get your head down. We got to correct a lot of things. When we play well, we got a chance to win. When we don't, we're not going to win. That's just the way it is. And I thought they tried. I thought they were ready to play. We jumped out 10-0. Then the momentum changed, and I thought they really got down right before the half. And then they came back and competed hard the second half. But good for Florida State and tough for us. Questions?
All right, Patrick Welter, go ahead.
Mack, how much has this team failed to meet your expectations and reach its potential?
Well, my expectations to win every game. So we've 3 times we've met it, and 3 times we haven't. The national media expectation, the expectations for us to be a top 10 team were wrong. So I guess we should all be critical of the media for picking us too high, because we're not that good. So you guys all screwed it up.
All right, we'll go over to Michael Coe.
Hey, Coach, what was behind the decision to go for it on 4th and goal from the 5 instead of kicking the field goal?
Well, we again, you look at analytics, and we were down by a bunch, so we needed to score a touchdown. We could have kicked the field goal, but we were getting short on time, Michael. So we thought we'd made it. If we'd made it and gone for 2, you'd have been all excited about the decision.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Lucas Tomei, go ahead.
Coach, now that your team is halfway through the season with a 3-3 record, how do you keep motivating your guys throughout the second half? And is there anything specific that you want your guys to play for specifically?
I told the guys that losing really stinks in life. It stinks in sports, and we're all going to have some of it. And we can learn from this. And it's something I've got to do better, is learn from what we didn't do well, learn from the momentum changes tonight, learn from being down, being frustrated. They were so high last week after you beat Duke. It's like a roller coaster right now in college football. And so go back to work tomorrow and do your best to beat Miami. Quit worrying about anything at the end. We got to get better as a program. And sometimes we look so good, and it's so exciting for the future. And then sometimes we're so disappointing. So we got to go back to work. We're not good enough to pout, and we're not good enough to win unless we play well. Our practice was great this week, probably as good as I've seen. Offense had one of their better games, didn't score touchdowns, just ran up and down the field. So we've still got a lot, and I worried about defense playing so well last week that they might not come back and play as well this week. And that's exactly what happened. So we got to try to get a game where everybody plays the same level of football at a very high level together. And Miami's going to come in with 16 days of rest and 16 days of planning and game planning, so we better be ready to go.
Brendan Marks.
Hey, Mac, you mentioned Jordan Travis and the success that he had running the ball and scrambling. What was he doing that was so effective? And obviously containing rushing quarterbacks seems to be a problem that is continuing to crop up.
Yeah, he's hard to tackle. You know, the option that he ran, he's fast. He's slippery. We were back there a lot and couldn't get to him. But the thing he has not done well is been a consistent thrower. And he didn't miss. Now, some of them were screens. But still, the two or three deep balls that he hit were a difference in the ball game, and they haven't been doing that. But that's our fault. You can't allow them to run the ball, and you can't allow the quarterback to be confident and have success. And we allowed all three.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Mac, how big was that drive, 7-minute drive for Florida State in terms of the momentum that you talked about? It seemed like besides just being Florida State's first score, it seemed like because they kept your offense off the field for so long, it kind of threw them out of rhythm too.
Yeah, I looked up with 2:40 left in the first quarter, and they'd had 3 snaps. And we had 10 points after we scored, and then they came back and scored after that. So we felt like it. Obviously, it's better if your defense is rested and your offense is moving the ball. We just needed 7 points instead of 3 when we got there. But that when the momentum changed, I didn't think we got it back till the third quarter. And then there were times in the third quarter that I thought that we had chances. Such a key that last 5 minutes of the half where they score and we've got 53 seconds, 59 seconds left with 3 timeouts, and we're driving it down. We have 2 penalties. That was such a key part of this game. If we go in and score there, we're in great shape at halftime, even though we hadn't stopped them as well. But we just can't have that many penalties.
Jeremiah Holloway.
Yeah, Coach. So for you all, Howell has been a very instrumental aspect of your running game. And of course, you spoke about how Travis was hard to stop today, and he pretty much played that same role for Florida State. Can you talk a little bit about, I guess, the role of quarterbacks, I guess, in a running scheme, specifically about Travis and Howell, and how Howell has been, how important Howell has been for you all, and how important Travis was for Florida State today?
Yeah, the quarterback's kind of like a +1 guy. Nobody's really responsible for him. And if you take a spy and put him just on the quarterback, it takes him out of your defensive flow and makes it tough for some other things. So that's just such a weapon for us. Sam did a really good job tonight. I thought he handled the game well. The one interception in the end zone was a contested ball that I thought we could have knocked down or jumped up and fought far more. But he's tough. He's competitive, and I liked what I saw. He kept us in the game with his runs tonight as well.
Adam Smith.
Mac, you've mentioned the penalties a couple of times. I was going to ask you about that, just in terms of, you had a couple of unsportsmanlike, I think. Did just some of the things that went on with the penalties today, did that add to the frustration or the irritation? Maybe there was some unraveling there. I don't know. What would you say?
Yeah, I thought we lost our composure a couple of times on the drive that they had for a touchdown because we wanted to win so badly. And that's an excuse. I mean, you've got to keep your composure at all times. And we had a helmet butt once, and we had a late hit on the quarterback, which can happen. But still, you can't have frustrated penalties. Q Johnson, guy said some things to him, and he was frustrated. I didn't see it, but it sounded like he pushed, and you just can't do that stuff. So that's not who we are. That's not what we're going to put up with, not what we're going to be known for. And we got to wake up. We got to go back to work and be positive and do positive things, and can't get frustrated when things aren't going well. People are beating you. You've got to fight to beat them back, but you can't do it illegally. You got to play within the rules.
Thank you.
Okay, last one for Coach will come from Andrew Jones.
Hey, Coach, they had 342 yards in the second and third quarter combined. A 2-part question here. What jumps out to you right now, looking back at those 2 periods, at what went wrong? And is there a common thread between what went wrong today as with the second half against Georgia Tech when they had 313 yards?
Yeah, we had people in the wrong place. We weren't fitting the line of scrimmage properly on some of those runs. We had communication issues in the secondary, which you can't have, and it seems like we clean them up and then they come back and happen again. So all those things are things that we have to clean up. And they took advantage of everything that was there. I mean, give their quarterback credit. Give those two running backs are good. They ran hard. Our backs ran hard tonight. That we did a better job with some things offensively tonight. But we played defense more like we played at times at Georgia Tech and tonight, because we just gave up some big plays, and you can't do that. It's just it's really frustrating.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
Coach, thanks for a couple of minutes. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, Jeremiah, first question for you will come from Patrick Welter. Go ahead.
Jeremiah, can you describe what it was like trying to defend Jordan Travis in that run game tonight and what went wrong?
Yeah, they definitely mixed up the formations well throughout the week. I thought watching film throughout the year on them, I thought they hid their formations and their schemes really well. But I think the biggest thing with us is just communicating on the front end and the back end, and throughout the night. I mean, I feel like that was our biggest deficit. I thought last week we did great job of communicating, but I don't think we did a great job of carrying that over to this week.
Alyssa Ray.
Coach mentioned just the massive momentum swing after you guys went up 10-0. What can you take away from this game to prevent that from happening again and keep, the pedal on the metal the whole 4 quarters?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a learning experience, especially for the young guys on the team that, like, no matter what, you get up on the team, make sure you keep the pedal on the gas. I mean, I think that's been shown throughout, I mean, since I've been here. I mean, just through college football throughout this season, it's shown that, like, teams can come back from huge deficits. So, I mean, you always got to play hard throughout the whole game.
Andrew Jones.
Hey, Jeremiah, the second and third quarter, they had 5 touchdowns, about 340 yards. What jumps out to you right now, thinking back of what most went wrong for you guys during that period?
It was definitely communication on the back end. One play on one of the touchdowns, I believe one half of the defense was playing in a different coverage than the other half, and that's just the back end, the bandit and the free needed to be able to communicate a little bit better. And then same thing with the other two, just communication. They were in the right call, but in certain splits, in certain formations, in certain proximity between 1 and 2, we make checks and calls between the free safety, bandit, corner, nickel, and we didn't make those checks tonight, and that ended up biting us on the butt.
I asked Mack, asking for a common thread between that stretch tonight and then the second half at Atlanta, and he said guys being out of position. How do you guys go about fixing that particular problem? Because this isn't the first time, obviously, it's been an issue.
I think it's coming together as a defense. Me and some older guys on the defense already talked, and we're calling a defensive meeting tomorrow because it's nothing that Coach Bateman's calling. I think Coach Bateman's calling a great game. I think he's calling really the best calls we can be in for those formations and those calls. It's just up to us to get into the check that we're supposed to be in that call and play out the call. Because I thought Bateman called a really good game based off their formations that they played in the plays that they ran. I think we just need to get in our checks and be able to line up and play.
Thank you.
Jeremiah Holloway.
Oh yeah, going back real quickly to Jordan Travis's performance. Obviously, you spoke about their ability to hide different formations and some miscommunication on your end. But was there anything special about, I guess, his running ability to you all that made him difficult to contain? Was there anything about his speed or just his style of running that made it hard to stop him today?
I mean, I give credit where credit is due. I mean, he's definitely one of the slimiest, quickest quarterbacks of them we played since I've been here. I mean, when he's in the open field, when he's in the box, I mean, he makes really good cuts, really cuts, and he knows how to get the ball out quick. I think he did a great job, but that comes back to us just being able to get in our checks, get into our calls that are on certain formations. But absolutely, I thought out of the years I've been playing ball, I thought his ability to run the ball, get out of the pocket, scramble around he does it at a high level.
Michael Coe.
Hey, Jeremiah. So as one of the leaders on this defense and on this team, what's your first message going to be to the guys starting out this week in practice?
Well, starting tomorrow, I said before, I mean, we're coming in to lift. We lift before the offense. So the defensive guys will be in here tomorrow before any of the other players. So when we get done lifting and the offense jumps into their offensive lift, we're going to hold a defensive meeting. We're going to sit down. Then we're going to go over the plays that ended up binding us and talk about what went wrong. Why we didn't communicate what we're supposed to communicate, and just talk about how, because I believe on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, we got athletes everywhere. We got players, we got playmakers, and I don't think we should be able to be getting beat the way we are when Bateman's calling a good game. We just have to get in the checks and be able to run them. So for me, it's just getting and talking with the older guys, just getting the defense together and being able to sit down and talk to the guys one-on-one and just ask them what they were thinking on the play and ask them what their thought process was and get things straightened out.
Thanks.
CL Brown.
Jeremiah, how disappointing is it to be at this point in the season and still kind of have those communication issues and have the ups and downs of, playing great one week like you did and like you said about the communication, but then having the lapse this week?
I think you just said it best. I mean, just being able to play 1 week so good, so sound, and be able to communicate so well, and then go to the next week and not be able to communicate as well. I mean, it's extremely frustrating because it's not like if we can do it, because we've shown on the field that we can communicate and play at a high level. So it's really frustrating. It's something that's been irrelevant throughout the year. So I think, like I said again, talking with the old guys, I think it's time to sit down with the guys and have a chat about our communication issues.
All right, Jeremiah, thanks for a couple of minutes. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
Okay.
Here's Sam.
All right, Sam. First one for you will come from Brendan Marks.
Hey, Sam, Coach Brown and Jeremiah both obviously described this as frustrating and disappointing, but just how would you describe the mood in the locker room and your mood personally?
Yeah, it's definitely disappointing. I thought on offense we were able to move the ball all night. We just couldn't put it in the end zone. Had the interception early on a drive we should have scored on. We had some penalties. Had a drop that was going to be an explosive play. So we just got to play sharper football. And credit to those guys. They had a great plan. They played hard. There's some really talented players. But yeah, no, it's definitely disappointing. But there's still a lot of football left to be played. So we just got to go back to work and just keep our head up. We can either just lay down for the rest of the season, or we can keep working and keep trying to win football games.
Okay, over to Greg Barnes.
Hey, Sam. Phil talked to us last week about trying to do a better job kind of adapting his scheme to the personnel on hand. Could you tell a difference in some of his play calls tonight?
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. We definitely mixed up looks, got into some tight formation, some bunch formation, did some different things. And, really our plan worked. Like I said, we're moving the ball all night long, and Coach Longo did a really good job in preparing for this game. And we just had too many mistakes, penalties, the interception I threw, drops, just little things like that we can't have if we expect to win football games.
Thank you.
CL Brown.
Sam, how much did that drive that Florida State had to end the first quarter and start the second quarter, 7-minute total drive, and not including, just the break in between quarters? How much did that kind of throw you guys out of rhythm because you were off the field for so long?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I mean, we still got to go out there and execute and do our job. The reason I think we have a 3-and-out after that drive. That drive before that doesn't cause that 3-and-out. It's just us not executing. Yeah, it definitely maybe throws you off a little bit, but you still have the same chance of going out there and executing your play that's called. We didn't do a good enough job of that.
And you guys, you didn't have any sacks today. How much of that goes to kind of what you said, the play calling and the scheme, maybe getting rid of the ball a little bit faster and having some more timing plays?
Yeah, it was a little bit of that, and I think our O-line did a really good job today about the passing game and the running game. I think they played an unbelievable game. I just think we just had too many penalties from those guys up front. And we have a veteran line, and we just got to play cleaner football. But from an assignment standpoint, I thought they did a really good job up front. And we did we were able to get some calls to get the ball a little quicker this game as well.
Lucas Tomei.
Sam, now that you guys are 3-3 halfway through the season, have you guys as a team had to reassess at all your goals for the season, and what can motivate you guys going forward in the second half?
I think, as a team, we all love playing this game, and we love the sport of football. And whether we're 3-3 or 6-0, we're just super blessed to be at a place like this and be able to play this game of football at this level. So, as a team, we're just going to take advantage of this opportunity that we have. It's disappointing for us, disappointing for our fans, just with the expectations coming into this year. But, we love football. We love each other, and we're going to go out there and fight and try to win every single game that we have left on our schedule.
All right, last one, Sam, will come from Patrick Welter.
Sam, specifically, how much do you think this team has failed to live up to its expectations, and how then can it still find a way to maybe reach that potential the rest of the way?
It depends on kind of whose expectations you look at, but honestly, as a team, that's all we kind of worry about is just what our own expectations are. That's to give it everything we got every single week. And we expect to win every single game. Obviously, no one thought we'd be 3-3 at this point in the season, but like I said earlier, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it now. All we can do now is control what we can control, and all we can control is just our effort and our mindset moving forward for the rest of this year. We have 6 games left, and like I said, we're gonna get everything we got for these last 6 weeks.
Great, thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.